evening. Gathering Ground Theater and Tenant Speak Up Theater would like to publicly honor and remember the lives, the artistry, the advocacy, and the friendship of James Mosley and Patricia Pat Perez. James Mosley fought for the right of those experiencing homelessness to live full and dignified lives. James was a talented musician, poet, and a delightful collaborator. He had a wild kindness, contagious smile, and deeply cared for his friends and community.
Rabbi James.
Pat Perez, was a tenant leader with BASTA. She was a fierce advocate for safe and healthy housing for renters in Austin. She was passionate about voting and voters' rights.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. She was funny, compassionate, and while I may be a bit biased, Pat was the best greedy management I have ever heard perform.
Yeah, she was. Rabbi Pat.
So James and Pat were founding members of Gathering Ground Theater and Tenant Speak Up Theater, respectively. Their politics informed their art informed their politics. They brought their lived experience to city council, tenant meetings, rallies, protests, and productions. They not only told it like it was, but they also imagined what could also be possible.
Yeah, they did.
A city where all people were treated with humanity and respect. A city where all people had access to safe, affordable, and dignified housing. Pat and James were with us during the creation of A Tale of Two Citizens, A People's Struggle with Housing in the Capital City, the work that was recognized here tonight. And while neither were with us to share this work with the public audience, their words and voice and spirit are all over it. On what she hoped audiences would take away from this show, Pat shared, "My hope is that this show will encourage people to step up and make things better. The stories we tell in this group are really happening to renters.
That's right.
Ridiculous fines and fees, poor living conditions, rising rent, bully management, it's all there."
That's right.
On the role of theater and activism within the homeless community, James said, "It's important that we continue to perpetuate our voices and be known as humans and as part of society, not just outcasts."
That's right.
Pat and James were like family to us, and we miss them deeply. And I'd like to invite Sheree Walker to share a few words of remembrance.
Hi, I'm Sheree Walker, and I am a member of Gathering Ground Theater.
Right.
I just could not believe it when they told me James had passed. James was the type of spirit that you would think would always be around with his laughter, with his jokes, his little innuendos. He was also a great teacher as far as theater was concerned, and if you ever had a problem, you could go to him, and when you left, you always felt that the problem was taken care of. I remember one time he was telling me about this drink It's a Scotch, I believe it was, Louis the 15th. And he said, girl, this stuff's $1,500. Fifth. I said, well, I guess I'll never have that. So we go to a bar one time and he orders 5 shots. I said, are you kidding? This is what I'm thinking to myself. The bartender brought them and set each one down and he threw them back. And I said, what the heck? The bartender said, as expensive as that is, you're throwing them back like that? He said, well, if you knew what I had in my pocket, you'd throw them back too. He had 50 cents. James was also, he was funny like that. That's what I say. And now that I think about it, I loaned James $50. I'll never get that back. Peace to you, my brother.